In the heart of the bustling city of Arden, Liam was a young man known for his relentless work ethic. From the moment he joined his company, he threw himself into every task with dedication, often working late into the night to ensure that every detail was perfect. Yet despite his best efforts, recognition seemed to always slip through his fingers. Other employees who were close to the manager received all the praise and credit, while Liam's contributions went unnoticed. Things took a turn for the worse when one day out of the blue, Liam's manager publicly scolded him for a mistake he hadn't even made. The reprimand was personal and stung deeply. Feeling the injustice of it all, Liam gathered the courage to file a complaint with the senior officer. In response, the senior officer transferred Liam to another team, promising a fresh start. Liam hoped that this new team would be different, that his hard work would finally be acknowledged. But as he settled into his new role, the same patterns began to emerge. No matter how early he arrived, no matter how late he stayed, or how much he accomplished, Liam was once again overlooked. Worse yet, he found himself blamed for mistakes he hadn't made. The realization dawned on him that his new manager was friends with his previous one, and it became clear that the office politics he thought he'd escaped had followed him. The constant pressure, the unfair treatment, and the relentless workload began to wear him down. Liam was at his breaking point, unable to understand why. Despite his hard work and integrity, he was being targeted and denied the recognition he deserved. One evening after another exhausting day, Liam found himself sitting alone on a park bench, the weight of his frustration and despair pressing down on him. As he stared blankly ahead, his father, who had noticed his son's troubled expression, quietly approached and sat beside him. Sensing that something was deeply wrong, he turned to Liam and asked gently, "What's going on, son?" With a heavy heart, Liam began to pour out his story. The endless hours of work, the blame for others' mistakes, the constant feeling of being pushed aside, and the office politics that seemed impossible to escape. "I'm done, Dad," he said finally, his voice trembling with exhaustion. "No matter how hard I work, it's never enough. I'm thinking of resigning. I can't take it anymore." His father listened quietly, absorbing every word. After a long pause, he spoke, his voice filled with calm wisdom. "Liam, life isn't always fair, and sometimes the people around us can make it feel even more unfair. But let me tell you a story." Liam glanced at his father, unsure how a story could help him now. "There was once a blacksmith," his father began. "He was the best in the village, known for his skill and the strength of the weapons he forged. But despite his talent, there were those who envied him. They spread rumors, sabotaged his work, and tried to turn the villagers against him. For a while, the blacksmith thought about leaving, giving up his craft altogether. But then he realized something. He wasn't working for the approval of others. He was working because he loved his craft and because he knew that his work had value, even if others didn't see it." His father paused, letting the story sink in before continuing. "So, the blacksmith kept working, kept honing his skills. Over time, those who had tried to bring him down revealed themselves for who they really were. The villagers saw through the lies, and the blacksmith, who had stayed true to himself, earned their respect not because he demanded it, but because he deserved it." Liam felt a flicker of recognition in his heart. "But what if no one ever sees the truth, Dad? What if they keep blaming me, keep piling on the work just to make me fail?" His father smiled, a mixture of pride and understanding in his eyes. "Son, the truth has a way of coming out, even when it seems hidden. Your integrity, your hard work, they are not for nothing. Even if it feels like no one is noticing, you are building something far more important than just a career. You're building character. The people who play games, who target you out of spite, they are building nothing but a house of cards. It might stand for a while, but it will eventually fall." Liam looked down, his thoughts racing. "So, what do I do?" "Keep going," his father said firmly. "Not for them, but for yourself. Learn from this experience. Become stronger, wiser. There will be other opportunities, other places where your talents will be recognized. But for now, don't let them drive you away. You are better than they are, not because you're stronger or smarter, but because you refuse to stoop to their level. Hold your head high, son, and know that you are not defined by the opinions of others, but by the quality of the work you do and the person you choose to be. A weight lifted off Liam's shoulders. The frustration hadn't disappeared, but in its place was a renewed sense of purpose. He realized that his father was right. Resigning wouldn't solve anything. Instead, he would stay, not for the approval of his managers, but to prove to himself that he could rise above the pettiness of office politics. "Thanks, Dad," Liam said, standing up with a newfound resolve. "I'm not going to let them break me." His father stood with him, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "That's my boy. Remember, success isn't about how others see you, it's about how you see yourself." As they walked away from the park together, the city lights seemed a little brighter, and Liam knew that while the road ahead might be difficult, he was ready to face it with his head held high.